battles rage on in the mountains of eastern Afghanistan. Here's Barbara Pinto with the latest from Washington. American warplanes and U.S.-led forces continue their relentless assault on al-Qaeda and Taliban fighters in the mountains of eastern Afghanistan, with more reinforcements on the way. The Pentagon is sending in up to 300 more troops to join the 1,000 already on the ground. More helicopters will replace those damaged by enemy fire.
The outcome is reasonably assured that people who have been in the battle will either be surrender or be killed.
Hundreds of al-Qaeda fighters have been killed in combat. None have surrendered. For Americans, Operation Anaconda has been the deadliest battle since the start of the war. The remains of 7 U.S. servicemen killed in the fighting arrived at Dover Air Force Base early this morning.
My heart breaks when I think about the moms and dads or wives or children of those who've lost their life. But we defend freedom, and we're fighting for freedom. And we must continue to fight for freedom.
There is some uncertainty about how one of the combat casualties died. Navy SEAL Neil Roberts was killed after falling out of a Chinook helicopter like this one. Some Pentagon officials watched the battle unfold live on video transmitted by a Predator spy plane overhead. Defense Secretary Rumsfeld claims he hasn't seen the tape, but the mission commander says Roberts was executed by enemy fighters.
I will assure you that there is no question that he had been captured by the al-Qaeda.
In Kabul, 5 Allied soldiers were killed in what is being described as an accident. 3 Danish peacekeepers and 2 Germans were disarming a missile when it exploded. Barbara Pinto, ABC News, Washington.
The bodies of 7 American soldiers killed in Afghan fighting are back on U.S. soil tonight, and we've learned one of the fallen soldiers grew up in Ohio. Shannon McCormick shows us U.S. Army Specialist Marc Anderson's dedication to his country cost him his life.
Courage took him to Afghanistan to fight terrorism, but Marc Anderson came home the way his family feared most. He died when his Army helicopter came under enemy fire.
Last night I just laid there and tried to think, what have I done that's been so bad that would make somebody want to do this to my little brother? Somebody who just really wanted to care and help people.
Marc's mission in eastern Afghanistan cost him his life, a life he'd spent helping children as an elementary school teacher in Florida.
He really believed in the public school system, but he knew it had a lot of flaws, and he wanted to, help fix it.
He made his family proud, especially his father, whose example Marc followed when he joined the Army Rangers. Marc believed in his country so much that he was willing to die for it.
Marc Anderson was 30 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 3 sons.
More firepower is on the way to the region as well. The military says this will be a tough fight and may take longer than they thought. But as News Channel 4's Jane Wattrell reports, the United States is making progress.
A close-up look at the dangers of war. Ground troops advancing in rugged al-Qaeda territory, destroying every cave or tunnel that may hide the enemy. So close to the fighting, the soldiers can hear the shots.
I thought it was one of our guys shooting at something at first. Then I heard a round crack by my ear. I knew we were getting fired at, and they opened up pretty good on us.
The bloody assault is turning into a long siege. Despite carpet bombing and firepower, Operation Anaconda may now last weeks. Soldiers well aware of the dangers. U.S. military commanders say the operation is making good progress. More than 2,000 troops have been deployed, now in their 5th day of fighting. 300 fresh soldiers and a dozen more attack helicopters are on their way. At least half of the enemy force has been wiped out.
These soldiers are not a match for American soldiers that we have on the ground in there right now, in terms of training, in terms of equipment, but at the same time, very dedicated troops with great resolve.
The war is being watched in real time by commanders with disturbing details. In the case of Navy SEAL Neil Roberts, who fell from a helicopter on Monday, an unmanned drone fed back live video. It showed 3 al-Qaeda fighters dragging him away. His body later recovered. He had been shot to death. Unclear if he was executed.
What's important is that a brave man died, and he has been removed from the battle, and his remains are en route back to the United States.
The wounded from Monday's helicopter attack began arriving at Ramstein Air Force Base to be taken to a nearby military hospital. More of the injured expected tomorrow. Senior U.S. officials say they don't believe Osama bin Laden is directing al-Qaeda operations, but they do believe the terrorist network is communicating with one another, possibly by email. At the White House, Jane Wattrell, News Channel 4.
Thank you, Jane. Intelligence forces in eastern Afghanistan are offering a $4,000 reward for the capture of any al-Qaeda fighter.
The Ohio Department of Education has graded more than 3,600 schools